Hello, this is Keith, welcoming you to the 2116th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline the 3rd of September 2015. The readers this week are Janet, Sally, Colin and Keith, with Ian on the controls. The items that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, under their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Ferdinand Bouillon and Harry Breur. It's performed by Jean-Jacques Perry and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include Armed Officers Shoot Man Dead and Holmes' Plan for Green Belt Sparks Fury. Only one special news item this week regarding the Enfield Macular Disease Support Group. This group meets on the second Wednesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Trinity Church Hall, Gentleman's Row, Enfield, EN2 6AN. The meetings are open to anyone affected by central vision loss. Carers are welcome too. For further details, please contact Alan Newson on 020 8886 5659. That's Alan Newson on 020 886 5659. If you are experiencing any problems receiving your Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. She is your listener's representative and she will be pleased to help you. That's Diane de Jersey and her phone number is 020 8805 6578. Now Janet will read the first item of local news.
Hundreds of furious people have rallied together to campaign against possible plans to build a school and 300 homes on Greenbelt land. Those living on Cotswold Way and Enfield Road have been left outraged by plans from housing company Fairview to transform the tranquil green space. They claim it would be a disaster if the proposals went ahead. The land is owned by the Diocese of London, which entered into an agreement with Fairview Homes in 2010 to manage the land on their behalf. However, fears were sparked after Fairview began soil testing the land, which has led to a campaign being launched by those whose homes back onto the site. Myra Turner, who has helped to lead the campaign against the possible development, said, "This would be a travesty for the area. The area is already saturated with schools and houses. People will not be able to get out of their homes in the morning if homes and a new school is built." Residents claim they received leaflets from the housing group on the new proposal and now fear for the future of the Greenbelt land. Last November, the site was described as an area of special character by Enfield Council and has been the home for several horses and has an ancient hedgerow. Sam Elborn, who lives on Cotswold Way, told the Enfield Independent that people would move from the area if more than 300 homes were built as planned. If this bit of Greenbelt goes, then where there we will stop other bits from falling to the same fate. This is a crucial part of Enfield, and there's a lot of nature that relies on the site. We've had hundreds of people support this, and we want to raise awareness of the potential loss of Greenbelt land. It would lead to people moving away from Enfield. It's teeming with nature. We have seen owls and all sorts. This would be destroyed by housing. Councillor Glynis Vince of Highlands Ward added, "I cannot support this application. We need to preserve our Greenbelt land in Enfield, and people in this area feel very passionately about it." More than 110 people attended the launch of the campaign yesterday as the residents looked to set up an online petition against the plans. A spokesman from Fairview New Homes said, "We understand there is an immediate concern from residents regarding the potential development possible of the site, and we remain committed to working closely with residents to address them. We will be holding our first set of public examinations in September, details of which can be circulated in the coming weeks. These exhibitions will explain the opportunities for the site in greater detail and give local people a chance to leave their feedback, ask questions about the proposals and discuss any issues they have, such as transport. We will keep the local community fully informed of our plans for the site as they progress."
Residents of a block of flats in Enfield have expressed their shock after a man was shot dead by police. The 43-year-old man, who has been named by North London Coroner's Office as James Fox, died after officers opened fire shortly before midnight at Picardy House in Cedar Road. Police had been called to an address in Barnet at 9:35 p.m. following reports of a man holding a gun and threatening to kill someone. He had left before officers arrived. More than 2 hours later, police were called to the address in Enfield where the man was shot by officers. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Ola Atanda, 25, who lives on the 7th floor of Picardy House with his partner and 4-year-old son, said that he had been dozing off when he heard 2 shots followed by a commotion. The next thing, I went to the balcony and saw the ambulance, he said. That's when I thought it could be something serious. And then I saw armed police and knew someone must have been shot. I was just shocked. I wouldn't expect that kind of thing to happen around here. My neighbours here are working people, families. The people on the floor below got evacuated. One of his neighbours said that the sight of police officers on the ground outside resembled a film set. Another resident, a 50-year-old woman who has lived in the block for 17 years and who asked not to be named, said there was usually little trouble here. I just go about my business, keeping myself to myself, and didn't know what had happened until a reporter knocked the following morning, she said. I was shocked when I heard. It feels less safe to live here. The shooting is being investigated by the Independent Police Complaints Commission. No arrests have been made and no further injuries have been reported.
The future of a historic mansion in the borough will be shaped partly by residents as consultation on Broomfield House gets underway shortly. People are being asked to contribute their views on what should happen to the Grade 2 listed building in Broomfield Park, Palmer's Green, which was created originally as a timber-framed house in the 16th century. The building was badly damaged by fires in the 1980s and 1990s. It had been restored, even though several schemes have been proposed in the intervening years. Enfield Council would like to hear ideas on the future of the site ahead of a second consultation on possible options early next year. The consultation runs until November the 30th. The local authority has commissioned architects to come up viable ideas for the future of the house and stable block and will choose a preferred design option in the spring. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, Daniel Anderson, said, "We need to make a decision about the future of Broomfield House. The building is in a terrible state and we desperately need to resolve its future once and for all. This is, therefore, a final opportunity for residents and other interested parties to shape the future of this historic site." The authority is working with Historic England, the Heritage Lottery Fund, the Broomfield House Trust and Friends of Broomfield Park to explore ways of financing renovations. People can give their views at www.enfield.gov.uk/Broomfield consultation or during the Palmer's Green Festival.
Fly tipping in Edmonton has become systemic, according to fuming residents. Those living in Upper Edmonton have called on Enfield Council to clean up its act in the area after claiming rubbish has been left on the street for weeks. Haydar Mehmet of Commercial Road, Edmonton, told the Enfield Independent that rubbish has been dumped on the road and left to rot. He said the area is rife with it and nothing has been done. It's giving the area a bad name. People are using it as an abandoned dumpster and the dumpster is now overflowing. If this was in Enfield Town, it would have been cleared up straight away, but we've been forgotten about. The council has to clean up its act. Egon Kassu, who was visiting family in Parkstone Avenue, also in Edmonton, claimed that rubbish had been dumped outside a local primary school. He said, "It's systemic around here. The smell is unbelievable and nothing has been done. I reported the fly tip, but I've not heard back. They need to be made aware of how much distress this is causing people." A council spokeswoman said, "Although we don't appear to have any reports of these incidents recorded on our system, we are targeting the area with fly tip patrols. Most fly tips are automatically cleared up by our teams before they are reported, but residents should report any they see online to ensure we can clear them promptly." Though Enfield Council will also endeavour to fine and prosecute fly tippers when and where we have evidence to do so, the public has a large part to play in helping us. Reporting fly tip offences can be done at enfield.gov.uk/report.
An MP has launched a scathing attack on a computerised referral programme that has caused lengthy delays to patients' treatment. Joan Ryan, the MP for Enfield North, says that many patients have been put at risk because of repeated failures in the IT system operated by the now defunct Barnet and Chase Farm Hospitals Foundation Trust between 2013 and 2014. The Royal Free NHS Foundation Trust took over from Barnet and Chase Farm in July 2014. Citing figures from an investigation by Healthwatch Enfield, the MP said that 77 patients experienced delays between referral by their GP and treatment in hospital due to the poor IT system, and were considered to have suffered harm as a result of the delay. In an open letter to David Sloman, the Chief Executive of Royal Free NHS Foundation Trust, which now runs both Chase Farm Hospital in the Ridgeway Enfield and Barnet Hospital, the MP said, "This is a really important issue that has implications for people in Enfield and elsewhere, particularly for those put at risk of clinical harm due to delays in their treatment. All those affected deserve an apology and to know what happened and why." A spokesman for the Trust said that an apology had been issued to any patient who had experienced delays in treatment due to the glitch in the referral IT system. The Royal Free London NHS Foundation Trust has been consistently open and transparent about how it has been working towards achieving the 18-week referral target.
Which artist was the first to have 3 consecutive UK chart number 1s? If you correctly answered Frank Ifield, you're either a pop trivia buff or a devoted fan pushing 60 or older. Before the emergence of the Beatles in the early 1960s, the country and western singer topped the charts with I Remember You, the double A side titled Lovesick Blues and She Taught Me How to Yodel, plus Wayward Wind. The Fab Four, who had been a support act on one of Frank's tours, would later repeat and surpass his feat, but the legendary British-born Aussie-bred entertainer with the distinctive yodel in his voice had permanently secured his place in pop's firmament. Now aged 77, he will be taking a nostalgic look back on a career spanning 5 decades when he appears at Milliott's Theatre in Darks Lane, Potter's Bar, in I Remember You, an audience with the legendary Frank Ifield. In the show, which celebrates his career, he recounts memories and tells incredible anecdotes of the famous entertainers he has worked with over the years, including the Beatles, Cliff Richard, Olivia Newton-John and Dwayne Eddy. Unable to sing since 1986 after his throat muscles were damaged by an endoscope before surgery for a collapsed lung, he has carved out a new career as a showbiz manager and TV presenter. Frank was born in Coventry and raised in Birmingham. His parents were Australian and emigrated back down under when he was 10. Despite enjoying success as a performer there, He was unknown when he returned to Britain in 1959. I Remember You, which was released in 1962, became his signature tune and also made the record books as the first single to sell 1 million copies in Britain. His fourth and final number one, Confessing That I Love You, made the top spot in 1963. To this day, Frank's recordings of I Remember You and Waltzing Matilda are instantly identified with him wherever they are heard. My passion to entertain was evident from a very early age, influenced mainly by country music, he says. I have been very fortunate in that I have always known what I wanted to do and just followed my heart.
Residents with queries about the development of an area of land in Edmonton have an opportunity to find out more about the project. A series of drop-in sessions detailing potential proposals for the Meridian Water development will begin at the Angel Community Centre in Raynham Road, Edmonton. Last month, Enfield Council announced that a number of developers are in the running to take on the project, including the Peabody Housing Association, Barclay Homes, Barrett and Seagrow, Taylor Wimpey and Dorchester, and PCPD, and Wilmot Dixon. Council chiefs are keen for people who have queries or concerns about the project to approach officers and find out the exact nature of the development. A council spokesman told the Advertiser this development will provide 8,000 new homes and 3,000 jobs. The buildings are going to be built to very green specifications. There will be better trains, green spaces, and 3 new schools. The drop-in sessions will be able to provide more information about the overall timetable of development, scheme designs, the potential impact of the construction work, and opportunities for the community. There will be specialists available to answer questions, plans and drawings to view, and refreshments. Children will be invited to help with the design of the play areas. Anyone wanting more information can log on to www.enfield.gov.uk/Meridian Water or call 020 8379 3885.
A football tournament to raise awareness about the dangers of knife and gang crime kicked off recently. The tournament took place at the Frederick Knight Sports Ground off Leaside Road, Upper Edmonton, and was organised by the Godwin Lawson Foundation, a charity set up in the wake of the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Godwin Lawson in 2010. Although the tournament is an annual event, this was the first year that all the teams taking part comprised only women. Teams from Arsenal, Charlton Athletic, Crystal Palace, Oxford United, Queen's Park Rangers, Spurs and West Ham United played each other. A group of 10 girls from St Anne's High School in London Road, Enfield, who had attended a residential course at Woodrow High House in Buckinghamshire, was also amongst the 150 participants. Alongside the game, there were workshops on knife crime, girls and gangs, and the London Ambulance Service showed a harrowing documentary film on what happens when an ambulance receives a 999 call. Yvonne Lawson set up the foundation in memory of her son Godwin. She told the Advertiser, "Not a day goes by that I don't think about him. Godwin was a very talented boy with such potential. He had a scholarship to train with Oxford United. But he lost his life on a visit to London. That's why the Oxford team supports our event." In a bid to unite young people rather than let the so-called postcode war divide them, she said, "We try to recruit young people from different postcodes so they can all meet and get to know each other." This was such an inspirational day. All the teams played to a very high level. To find out more about the Godwin Lawson Foundation, go to www.godwinlawson.org.
Guilt-free designer cupcakes might sound too good to be true, but customers at One Foodie Haven have been living the dream. 3 sets of colourful cupcakes inspired by a children's book took pride of place in the Library Cafe in Enfield Town Library. Decorative swirls of bright colour perched on the counter as owner and former Great Britain Bake-Off contestant Urvashi Rowe explained how she'd been able to bring to life the winning recipes of youngsters from Merry Hills Primary School. At the end of last term, children at the school in Bincott Road, Enfield, were asked to design a cupcake with healthy elements based on the children's book. The 3 winners, Kamel Eggman, 10, Michaela Giulopoulos, 10, and Marashi McCann, 8, were rewarded for their efforts by getting to see their ideas brought to life by Urvashi, who baked and decorated the cupcakes before selling them alongside the many treats and healthy lunches which have become the CAF's trademark. We love the idea of the ginger sponge combined with marmalade filling, she explained, describing Kemmel's Paddington Bear-inspired creation with blue frosting and a strawberry hat. Mashala's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory inspired designs. One of the things we as judges loved about this design was the way that it looked almost like fluffy white clouds on top of a sweet shop. The winning cupcake design, which was chosen by the judges last month, was made by Michaela, who took her inspiration from the Very Hungry Caterpillar. The design was the only one that was technically a bit tricky, as Michaela had originally put grapes on top of her cupcake. But when we tried that in proportion, it didn't look quite right, so we substituted it with green jelly beans. The cakes have been on sale in the cafe attached to the library in Church Street, Enfield, and all the money has been raised going to Action Against Hunger, a charity that works to battle hunger in the developing world. The total so far has reached £150, with some more to still come. So, after success of this bake-off of sorts, will the competition become an annual event for the team at the library? Well, maybe next year we will ask children to design a literally themed salad or even a sandwich for British Sandwich Week.
Magical is the word which keeps coming up to describe the livestock festival which was held on the Forty Hall estate. More than 1,600 people lined up in the grounds of the estate in Forty Hill, Enfield, to hear some of the best rock, blues, reggae, soul and folk bands around, including the Trembling Wilburys, Silencers and the Gregory Gang, on 3 separate stages in the beautiful woodland setting. There were also food stalls and a plethora of family-friendly activities, including face painting and games. But for many children at the event, the star attractions were the latest arrivals on the farm, 6 baby piglets. The evening ended on the woodland stage with Gypsy Swing band Boom La Tête. They were superb musicians, Andrew Wanshaw, one of the organisers of the event, told the Advertiser. The feedback has been tremendous, he added. It was a roaring success. We had 1/3 more people than last year. If we carry on like this, it could become a mini Glastonbury. A donation from some of the money raised from the festival will be going towards providing musical instruments for schools in Enfield.
Survival skills are dominating a programme of walks as potential wilderness explorers are encouraged to lace up their boots for another adventure in Trent Park. Following hot on the heels of the last month's survival walk, the latest activity planned by Black Rainbow Events will feature even more ways to last for days in the great outdoors. Former park rangers Alan Metellus and Andy Horsworth will show eager participants how to filter water found in the open, how to forage for safe edible food, ways to summon help, and even what to pack in a rucksack to ensure you don't become stranded in the middle of nowhere with no suitable kit to hand. This walk is the 9th in the Trent Park Guided Walks programme, which has stretched throughout the summer months. Like the previous survival walk, The event is funded by Enfield Council's Residents Priority Fund and organised by Black Rainbow Events. Alan Metellus, Director of Black Rainbow Events, said, "Following on from our highly successful survival event in August, this second walk further explores how to keep safe when exploring the outdoors and how to get through a survival situation in a natural environment. The walk is free and will even include a little treat for participants at the end."
Technology giant Siemens has opened a multi-million-pound plant in the borough. The new factory in Millmarsh Lane, Enfield, has been welcomed and will create more than 100 jobs for people in the borough. Councillor Alan Sitkin, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Economic Regeneration and Business Development, visited the new premises and could not contain his delight at the latest addition to the borough. He said, "Siemens coming to Enfield is great news for not only the company, but for the entire borough. New companies bring jobs, revenue and opportunities for residents, which in turn boosts the local economy. Siemens will be working with the council to encourage young people to pursue qualifications and careers in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. We are also delighted to see that Siemens place the same importance on sustainability that we do." Known as the Enfield Traffic Depot, the building will have both training facilities for Siemens and Transport for London staff and testing facilities for traffic signals and other such equipment. It also includes a full warehouse of traffic equipment.
4 people have appeared in court in conjunction with the Hatton Garden jewellery heist, in which £10 million worth of jewels were stolen from an underground high security vault. Laura Perkins of Manor Court, Balsmore, appeared in court alongside Bren Waters, who also is known as Ben Perkins, of the same address. Terry Robinson of Stirling Road, Enfield, and her husband Stephen Robinson, all 4 stand accused of conspiracy to conceal, disguise, convert or transfer criminal property, namely jewellery, between the dates of April 15 and May 19. They did not enter pleas in the course of the short hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court and were released on bail. They are due to appear at Woolwich Crown Court for a plea and case management hearing. 9 people charged with conspiracy to steal and conspiracy to launder money in relation to the heist were remanded in custody when they appeared at Southwark Crown Court on June the 4th. They will also attend a plea and case management hearing at Woolwich Crown Court. Among them are 3 Enfield men: Hugh Doyle of Riverside Gardens, Terry Perkins of Heen Road and Daniel Jones of Park Avenue, Bushhill Park.
We have now reached the end of side 1 of this tape. Please stop your machine now, take out the cassette, turn it over and start side 2.